Hey, yo, welcome back to the Major League Gaming Anaheim B stream, the Bravo stream. Bravo sounds a lot more badass.
Yeah, let's not call it the B stream.
Yeah.
The Bravo stream, guys.
Bravo team usually backs up the Alpha team pretty well.
Yeah.
It's like every movie, it's always Alpha team that dies, right? So technically we're the real MVPs.
That is completely true. Bravo team waiting. And we are going to have quite the CBT here, Nathaniel.
Oh, yes, we are. Probably one of the most crazy Terran players that you'll have in the North American scene. Illusion facing off against Scarlett, who's just coming off of we look at Scarlett's macro game, pretty good against Terran. Did really well versus Polt yesterday. But she lost that series 1-2, and I think a lot of people were expecting her to have a repeat of any one of the three best of threes that she played against Polt in the North American Battlegrounds yesterday, but not quite what she was looking for.
Yeah, important to note, both Scarlett and Polt are very standard mechanical players. So Illusion could completely change the game because you don't play against Illusion like you play against any other Terran, really.
No.
He's extremely aggressive. Usually uses aggression on the 2 base and tries to get a lead that way. So we'll see if Scarlett is able to deal with that.
I'm excited to see. Illusion is one of those guys that always makes games interesting. So we'll be getting into the game reasonably soon. We're going to kick this series off on Habitation Station, and I honestly would not be surprised to see Illusion do something crazy like go for a gold liftoff or basically any other variety of early aggression like a 2-racks,
Yeah. So this should be a fantastic game, and I think we're good to go. Production? We are going.
Let's do it.
The game is now starting. Hobo Station, like you mentioned, is the map.
Did you say Hobo Station?
Yeah, that's what I like to call it.
Is it because vagrant Terrans roam around it sometimes? They fly to the gold base?
Sure. Yeah, why not?
So
Habitation Station it is. We'll see if Illusion decides to fly to the gold. He is the kind of player that you would think does that kind of thing, but I haven't seen him do it on this map. So, Scarlett is a player that does her research. I'm sure she studied everyone in the group. And that could come up as a surprise. And Illusion is doing it.
Yep, that's right, guys. We're loaded in. And, of course, our Zerg player isn't going to be moving anywhere. It's Acer's Scarlett.
Yep. And in the gold, in the right-hand side gold.
He's currently in middle of his flight.
Yep.
He hasn't quite landed here yet, but he's getting there.
He's getting there. And, of course, from Root Gaming, it is Illusion. That's a weird zoom in. It's awkward. There it is. There we go.
And the logos appear and everything. You can pack everything up with you when you're Terran.
Yeah, absolutely. And on the other hand, Scarlett will be scouting this. What do you think her response should be here, Nathaniel?
You're a better player than me when it comes to this matchup. I don't really lift to the gold base very often. Some players like to do the crazy drone pull, but I feel like does it really guarantee you a free win like it used to? I don't know. Some players have had a lot of success with it.
Yeah, the thing is, you can only do that if there's no supply depot wall off like Illusion's doing it right now. He'll put the barracks pretty close to the supply depot, and with this, he would be able to lower the supply depot and hide the SCVs there until he gets Marines out. So it doesn't work. The drone pool doesn't. Now there's a not against this kind of wall off anyway. There's a few options, and Scarlett looks like we'll be going for a hatch first regardless, but I think she'll be getting a 14 pool instead of a 15 pool. And just as I say that, she goes up to 15 drones. So I guess that's just how confident she is holding this.
Illusion showing that he likes to get aggressive. This drone scout actually has the potential to help slow down this second barracks, but at this point, I wouldn't be surprised to see Illusion just continue to drop barracks. We've seen him do it before. I can't remember where exactly it was, but he did this the last time I casted him play Terran vs. Zerg on this map.
Yeah.
Was it against you?
No. I don't think so.
I've seen him lift to the gold versus you before. At least I'm pretty sure.
All right. It's quite possible. I don't recall. I guess lifted to the gold against me last time. But either way, that wasn't really a scout so much. Scarlett already knows what's going on. That was more of a drone to try and prevent that or delay that barracks from going up. Barely managed to delay it by, a second or two, forcing the first SCV off of it. But it was still kind of worth it, because Illusion had to pull 2 extra SCVs to make that work.
And those SCVs are mining so much since they're on the gold base right now, right? So
yeah, absolutely.
every one of those mining workers has a much larger impact than they would in a typical macro game. And Illusion's going to start his first bunker at the base of Scarlett's ramp as these Marines kill this Overlord. So he'll kill that Overlord, which is actually really nice. Anything to slow down Scarlett in this early phase of the game. She's playing completely gasless, so she's trying to hold this with just Queens and Zerglings.
Oh.
And, this bunker, she might be able to force a cancel on this. There's not too many Marines close by. Oh.
And that's a little bit of a mistake by Illusion, but at the same time, he does get the Overlord, like you said, which is not what usually happens. I don't think this is enough links if Illusion macros this properly, but a great flank from Scarlett coming in and picking off at least one of those Marines. Fantastic micro by Illusion, though not worth it. 6 Zerglings for 2 Marines. So not the worst trade in the world, not the greatest by any means, though, from Scarlett.
And Scarlett maybe suddenly wishing that she'd try to take out this bunker first. Marines are going to press the natural. There's just 2 Queens to help defend against this. I really like to see Illusion send an SCV to finish this and then start to, work his way up again, because this bunker, this represents a very strong forward point.
Scarlett is droning up. And Illusion is expanding, so this is actually perfect for her, whether she knows it or not. Illusion is still producing 1 Marine at a time, adding an additional barracks, actually floating his 2 extra barracks back to the base to help wall off. And this game will transition into a somewhat standard game, where Illusion tried to play the mind games. He tried to tell Scarlett, hey, go ahead and over-defend against this, make a bunch of lings, make a bunch of Queens, maybe Spines, and then I'll just expand. But Scarlett, much too smart for that. With her Overlord in position to spot Illusion's gases, she figures right away, this guy's gonna transition. I don't need to over-defend. I'm just gonna go for the ling speed, drone. It's really impressive how early and how decisive her decision-making has been so far this game.
Yeah, I guess at this point I'm mostly wondering, where does Illusion go from here? Do you try to play out a 3cc macro game? I'm not entirely sure that that's the best way to take this. You're in an awkward spot where you're already really quite forward, but if you can secure the natural, like when you start to extend yourself really hard when this setup goes, like you're in that position where
I think
if you can hold it, I guess.
I think this
is
could be tanks.
This is a crazy
we'll see.
walk. Yeah, I've seen Marine Tank as like a follow-up to this. I feel like it's an okay one because you have a lot of space to cover.
It is a tech lab. So yeah, exactly. It's not just that, but also like you said, he's already pretty forward, right? And being in that position, defending and crawling towards your opponent when you go for tanks is going to be a lot easier the closer you are. So that's pretty good for Illusion. He also finishes the wall off and is working now on a wall off for his other base. So he could very well go into 3 base, like you said, Nathanius.
Yeah, so this bunker's finally going to get cleaned up. What's really important to note is that, as you know, we could talk about Illusion in 3 bases, but Scarlett has not been able to take her 3rd base just yet. She had a couple of creep tumors spread outside, but she's not taking that 3rd base at the time that you would normally want to, right? She had to get her macro hatch first, she had to get her lair first, and still actually has not yet sent out a drone to take that 3rd base. So the Zerglings are going to run around, but it's kind of awkward.
Yeah, there might be enough Marines to defend this. Oh, I think it's too many Zerglings, but a good spread by Illusion. Oh, the supply depot.
That depot makes things a bit awkward. The tank actually soaks up a lot of damage.
It does not survive, though. Good focus firing by Scarlett. At the very end, there was... She was like, all right, this doesn't seem like a cost-efficient trade for me, but if I don't kill this tank, it will be absolutely horrible. So pretty good all in all for Illusion there. Scarlett decided to drop a very quick macro hatch as well, and she is going for Banelings.
Look at this. Medevac flies right over those Banelings as they're morphing. Illusion knows what's going on. He's going to try to drop a few Marines on the outside of this, and I mean, if you drop them immediately, try to soak up a few of those Baneling shots, that's quite nice, or at least kill them while they're morphing, but he's buying himself time, trying to delay them. That is one juicy wall.
There's a
it's
tank.
not Siege, though. Illusion does have Stim. These Zerglings are going to try to just run straight through. And this is the weirdest part about playing Illusion. You get into these crazy situations you otherwise normally would never. And these Lings are actually kind of stuck now.
Yep, they went inside and they were like, all right, you know what? If you are making a 3rd CC, then I can probably deny that. And there's no reason to make a CC somewhere else other than in the very main. So a good thought there, and leaves a few links to be morphed into Banelings at the top, I believe, later on. Yeah, they're already morphed, actually. So The Illusion, unfortunately for her, is going to find them.
Yep, it's going to be able to kill these Banelings, and now there's only even one left. So even if that gets to the mineral line, it's not gonna kill any additional SCVs. So Illusion has done surprisingly well, I feel, but Scarlett still managed to trade away, you know, the Zerglings against a significant number of Marines. It just feels weird because this, I don't know, man, this map, everything about this game just looks wrong.
Yeah, absolutely. Scarlett spotting Illusion moving out very quickly. Illusion's probably just going to try to push some creep and maybe pull a little bit of a Thorstein and slow push it. I would kind of hope so, but at the same time, Scarlet Spire is almost ready. She doesn't really have any money for mutas though.
Yeah, this has been crazy. A Queen gets caught. It's gonna survive. Okay, no, picked off. Illusion's running very far forward on creep, but I guess he's not too worried about his Zergling flank on those tanks.
Oh,
look at this
wow.
focus fire on those Banelings. That was great. That was actually great.
Yeah, I heard they called Illusion Horde.
I don't even,
because of the focus.
Ah. God damn it.
All right.
1-1 finishing up for Scarlett, and Illusion moves forward with the third siege tank. There's a couple creep tumors here, though. There's the scan. We'll be able to deny these ones. And moving up towards the natural expansion. Spinecrawler's not in position just yet. Scarlett runs a few Zerglings around these Marines, but I think Illusion, he just has so much here. The supply is still barely favoring Scarlett, but you know, Cats, that's mostly because Scarlett's up 40 or so workers.
Yeah, the position is fantastic, and with the creep receding, there's still actually one creep tumor that's making Illusion's life a little bit harder than it should be at the top of his army there. That's going to continue to spread the creep in a kind of an awkward position for Illusion, but other than that, he's positioned himself beautifully.
Yeah, the tank spread is awesome.
Yeah, it really is. So
Scarlett's going to try to charge this. There's a couple Banelings on the right side. Baneling speed is nice, but Illusion picks up. He's running away, letting the tanks do their dirty work. And I mean, this force is going to be overrun by Scarlett, but Illusion still has a solid amount of army supply. Illusion's also getting at third base together as the Spire completes. But so Illusion, he builds his command center at his original main. The gold base is mined out, so he could just, I mean, he could theoretically just float this over to the southeast base and just take that as his, I don't know if I would call it his fourth, but I guess it would be.
Yeah, but now 33 workers behind his Illusion, and still trying to push the issue a little bit. I'm not sure about that. With the gold mined out, Scarlett is in a much better position now. With greater income, that was just an absolutely beautiful flank by her. Great, you know, she was very patient, as was Illusion, but the reinforcements for him just weren't quite there, so Scarlett is definitely taking the lead in this game.
Yeah, these Mutalisks trying to snipe a siege tank, not able to get it, and Illusion's gonna try to run away, but oh no, the Zerglings and Banelings rolling up. And yeah, Illusion can boost away from this, but he still has, he's gonna retreat to his Great Wall.
Oh, the tank actually getting dropped outside of it.
And then the Muta's gonna try to poke against that. Oh, that's unfortunate. That missile turret was just about to finish up, but Scarlett doing a great job of just killing SCV after SCV. And you said it, Illusion was behind in this, he was behind in the worker count prior, but now it's just going to make things even more difficult.
Yeah, absolutely. Scarlett with nearly twice the amount of workers of Illusion and 50 supply, which is a very compelling argument when it comes to CBT. You know, it's one of those matchups where the player with the most supply, as long as the compositions are, you know, close to standard, say non-mech compositions, is usually ahead. Yeah,
so Illusion's Marines being forced back. He's getting a Thor out with his 2-2 upgrades, but you know, Scarlett's 2-2 just finishing now within the next couple seconds is going to be a really big boost for her. Infestation Pit means that she can go up to Hive Tech, get the +3 upgrades. She can go to Ultralisks, and her creep spread has made those tank plays earlier that we could talk about. Like, yeah, it made those a bit more difficult to execute, but her creep spread right now, it really keeps Illusion in a tough spot, because if he ever tries to put on pressure, Scarlett will see him coming from a mile away.
You are, of course, Nathania's Terran player, Grandmaster, if I may add.
You know
so
it.
what does Illusion need to do from this point to get back into this game?
I think we've kind of seen him try to squeeze out a few more SCVs. Really needs to keep the economy going. I like the composition choice to go for Marine Thor, but Scarlett's a player that's shown she's not scared of Widow Mines. Her Microverse Widow Mines has been probably some of the best that I've ever seen in the last couple weeks, especially the last week of ZVT that she's played. So if you're Illusion, you need to rely on the cool little micro tricks that you can do, like not just splitting, but focusing on the Banelings. And I like Thor's, but I mean, Illusion just needs engagements, right? It's just engagements. There's not much else he can do because he's going to be behind in economy for the rest of this game no matter what.
His entire army is moving to the bottom, so he might be able to deny this base. He's still moving on creep, and Scarlett's army is all coming for him. She does have a pretty decent number of Banelings, but not too many. The Mutas are now being pulled back, and when those Mutas arrive and those Banelings finish morphing, I think Scarlett's going to go for it.
Yeah, Illusion still on creep, and even if you kill the tumors, Cats, it still takes a while for the creep to recede. Zerglings, Banelings coming from all directions. Illusion's army gonna get cleaned up. This Thor not really adding much in the way of support to this battle as it's taken out, and suddenly Scarlett's up about 100 supply, doubling in the army supply. These medevacs being chased down. GG is called. Scarlett will take game number 1, and Illusion, I mean, that's standard Illusion craziness, but it just was not enough.
Yeah, it all came down to that one flank where Scarlett cleared the entire army of Illusion. Perhaps if Illusion had been a little bit riskier with that push, his positioning was fantastic, but it was more than a push, it was a contain. He wasn't really moving towards Scarlett. He wasn't really forcing Scarlett to commit any number of units up until she was ready. So I think that was his biggest mistake. Other than that, he played fantastic game, and I'm looking forward to the second one.
Yeah, you know, it's cool to see. We get, of course, the gold-based build's been really popular, but we don't really see players expand off of them too much. And he got into, as you said, a really good position with the siege tanks. The spread was beautiful, but when you're able to hit with that flank, and it's also important to note that Scarlett waited until like the last possible moment to take that fight. She moved in right as her Baneling speed finished. Just getting in there just a couple seconds earlier really helps because of how far Illusion was. And when he tried to split behind the tanks, that creep tumor that you mentioned above his army also allowed for the Banelings to keep moving at max speed, and that was just too much.
Yeah, absolutely. We're going to throw it to a quick commercial break, and when we come back, it's going to be game 2 of Acer Scarlett against Root Illusion.
Hey guys, it's me, Nathanius, with myself. Hello. We're gonna go into game number 2. Thankfully, it's a Terran matchup, so I can give you stuff to talk about. But apparently, Paolo has to go save the world. He's given a press call by the president on his line. He said you need to go beat some guy in MLG open bracket. So because Paolo wants to play, and I did not want to. I told him, like, you know what, man, I've done this a time or two. I'll try to make this one entertaining, be slightly less boring for you guys, since you're going to be stuck with just me for the rest of this series at least, or at least however long it takes Paolo to destroy his potentially Gold League opponent. But we're going to go into game number 2 of Scarlett versus Illusion. We're loading it right now. It's going to be on Overgrowth, a map that has been historically, I would say, it's been a very well-liked map, but it's also been a map that it's one of the maps where Scarlett showed a bit of weakness to Pult in the games, at least throughout the North American Battlegrounds. As you can see, we're loaded in. And our first player in the top right position, the blue Terran player, representing Root Gaming, it is Illusion. He's down 0-1 to his Zerg opponent, spawning in the bottom left position and representing Team Acer, Scarlett. Of course, Illusion tried to go for the crazy gold liftoff into 2 racks, into expand your original natural, into siege tanks, and it didn't really work. Scarlett is a class above such shenanigans. So let's see what Chris Illusion Lee wants to bust out for this second game. And on Overgrowth, I would say that Illusion's a player that I would not be surprised to see him go for something like a 2 barracks all in, or, you know, proxy racks, but the time for that has passed. So it's just going to be a straight up 12 supply barracks, probably into gas for Reapers. Illusion has not shown to be a stranger to either just regular Reaper aggression or other varieties of aggressive strategies, but Scarlett is actually the one that's doing some craziness. So that's like a, what's going to be a 14-14? This is like a 2v2 build. It's funny, you know, play 2v2 actually know what this build is. This is going to be very fast speed from Scarlett, and this build is really good versus Reaper play because you get your speed out fast enough. You can deny the Reaper if your Terran opponent builds the command center on the low ground in their natural expansion. Then it's also really easy to get a surround. You can deny the command center from being built, and if you force a cancel, if you pick off that command center while also taking your own hatchery as a Zerg player, that's when things get really gnarly. Like, it's just crazy because the Zerg player, obviously, Scarlett's not building a hatchery early on, so she's delaying her own extra economy to make this play work. And I would say if Illusion went something like low ground command center first, then you don't have that wall in your main base, so this attack can suddenly become even more strong. But there's Zergling speed. Scarlett's not going to mine any additional gas for this, at least this particular situation. And as the Reaper comes out, Illusion, I'm really curious, all that SCVs on the low ground. This is what I was talking about. This Overlord's going to see it, and Scarlett's just going to be like, these Zerglings can get in and deny this command center. Illusion will be shedding a bucket of Terran tears here at MLG. And those Zerglings, look at this. Oh, is the Reaper going to see him? They're moving towards the tower. Oh, he's not going to check the tower. No. Well, that's gonna bite Illusion in the butt. Let's just say that. This Reaper's gonna jump into the main, and he's gonna see this queen. He's like, okay, you opened up pool. Well, I went for a reactors after my Reaper, right? So Illusion does not have